Lord Ayyappa has been surrounded with multiple issues in the recent past. It was the first under the left government itself where the assault on Astha was when people, non-believers, non-devotees wanted to force their way into the sanctum sanctorum of the deity. Then came the gold theft, and now the latest is around ghee. And this is another major financial irregularity that's now been unearthed. The sale of ghee. This is the system ghee, which is just about 100 milliliters, 100 ml, priced at 100 rupees, and nearly 35,000 packets between November and January as we speak have been found misappropriated or not billed, amounting to about 35 lakh rupees. And that's what the Kerala High Court directing the Director of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau to form a team to investigate the embezzlement of about 35 lakh rupees in the sale of ghee at the temple over the last 2 months. Now, here are the scams that have rocked the temple. 1. Gold artifacts theft, gold content on panels replaced with cheaper replicas, the Adiya Shishtam ghee sale scam, then of course corruption in the sale of sacred ghee offered to the deity. The gold artifacts theft, gold-clad plates mislabeled as copper plates to bypass oversight. The Adiya Shishtam ghee sale scam, sale proceeds to the tune of 35 lakh rupees siphoned off. And this is just in 2 months. The court says, imagine how much money has been looted. The gold artifacts theft, ex-TDB heads, that is the Travancore Devasam Board heads, chief priest, have been indicted for conspiracy and misappropriation. The Adiya Shishtam ghee sale scam itself, Kerala High Court has called the scale alarming and ordering a vigilance investigation. The larger question is Astha and trust of millions of devotees being hurt again and again and again. Sanatan faith repeatedly being breached. Is it because A, of state control, B, of people who actually don't believe and don't have the devotion enough for the deity, the absolute commercialization. Now, 1047 AD, we're talking about a millennia since Somnath was looted for larger purposes. And those very people, or people with similar mindset, with brazen disregard for Hindu Astha, Hindu faith, or thinking that they can milk the devotees' faith for pocketing their own profits? Or is it that our own Hindu systems, religious institutions today now are infested by those who don't believe in the Sanatan way itself? What are the reasons why this is happening? And why is it that the Lord of the Pampa forest, Lord of that entire region, why is it that Ayyappa, the absolute representation of a culmination of multiple streams of belief, Shaivite and Vaishnavite, because he's seen as Hariharaputra, is the one that is bearing the brunt of this? And his temple, his domain, is the one that is under constant attack and scrutiny, or perhaps loot and plunder. Navya Haridas, President Mahila Morcha Kerala BJP, with us. As Balan leader left is with us. Dr. Anand Ranganathan also with us. My namaste, Jai Hind. Thank you for your time. Navya Haridas, this is the latest. Now here they are saying it's a contractual worker. Sunil Kumar Potti may be involved. How is it that the state could have done something better? And if the state cannot, although because the TDB is under the aegis of the state cannot control this loot, then who will? There are very many questions. Your thought process.
Definitely. We all know that Sabarimala Sri Dharma Shastra temple is a very prominent, famous Hindu pilgrimage destination. Every year we are hearing many controversies about the Sabarimala. And recently the gold scam was raised as a major issue in Sabarimala. But now we could see that in a short time span, like from December to January, for around 1.5 months, 35 lakhs scam have been revealed from Sabarimala. It cannot be put as a small thing, because actually we are feeling very sad about hearing all such news from Sabarimala. It's very painful for every devotees to hear such news from Sabarimala. This gold scam itself, many ministers were involved. We all know that the Devaswa minister, V.N. Vasavanji, was also under the police control for questioning and all. And the earlier former minister, Sri Kadangampalli Surendran, was also in the shadow of this police. And what to say, the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, he himself is involved in all these things. That's what the facts are revealing now. In Sabarimala, 35 lakh scam for this ghee. It's not actually a mere ghee. It's a sacred offering from the god to the devotees. Adya Shishtam ghee is its name. So this ghee may have to be given as a prasad to the devotees. And this prasad is being looted and the money for this prasad is being looted. That means the proper recording is not being done in Sabarimala. There is no financial there are many financial irregularities in Sabarimala. The stock verification is not done in a proper way. And the state minister and the state ruling party itself is involved in all these scams. So, if the ruling party is taking care of these things and the Devaswam board itself is under the control of the state department, so when the state itself is doing all these scams and crimes, then who will be standing for the devotees? Is my question. See, we all have that faith in Swami Ayyappa, and that's why we are going to Sabarimala. So every day these news is coming from Sabarimala is disheartening and very painful to all the devotees. And we are always thinking on what is left in Sabarimala. The devotees are missing, the gold is missing, and whatever is precious from Sabarimala is gone missing. We all are having a pain that even the deity, the main deity, when will it go missing? That's our concern. So this it's not acceptable by the people of Kerala. We need a strong protest against that. What I want to say, the already High Court had ordered for the vigilance and the Anti-Corruption Bureau to have an investigation on this crime. It's not a theft; it's a crime. It's a crime against the devotees. It's a crime against the temples. It's a crime against the the innocent devotees of Sabarimala.
Right, Mr. Balan.
Yes, sir. The first point is this Tantri, Kandraru Rajuru, who is arrested. His brother-in-law of Narayanan Nambudri, a state committee member of BJP. So BJP and Tantris have a unholy and holy nexus there. And the madam should read Caste and Tribes in South India, written by Rangacharlu, published in 1784. Then she will come to know about it. Then the narrative is that Sanatana, Hindutva, Hindu. See why this comes. See, the state government of Kerala have given free hand to Tantris. They don't involve. And it's happening in Puri, it's happening in Karnataka, it's happening everywhere. Why only one government is concentrated? Investigation is going on. One more second. 35 lakhs. 1 crore, 2 crore. Nirav Modi, Chomsky looted thousands of crores. Let there be discussion. Then 16 lakh crore loans waived to Ambani and Adani. Entire nation is sold. That is the bigger issue. This is an issue of milk, silk, and coffee, tea. What is this? Why a government is being blamed? Who is against Sanatana Dharma? The government is sponsoring programs, and government is secular. Government is not. Government of Kerala is not anti-Ayyappa. So people's faith is protected. People's faith, who is not protecting? Why you are not allowing women to enter into temple? Is it not discrimination? Is it not violating Article 17 of the Constitution of India? Untouchability in any form is an offense. Not allowing women to enter into a temple is opposed to constitutional values. Even when the Supreme Court passed a judgment, who violated it? Therefore, this is an issue. You can't connect this to Sanatana, Hindutva, political party, CPM, BJP, Mahila Morcha.
Okay. Mr. Balan, I just want to know what you said about allowing women and untouchability in any form is a crime. So that applies to the Sunni mosques in Kerala also?
Anyone, sir? Anyone.
No, but then you have never had you have never asked her. No, you just talked about constitutional rights, sir. So I'm asking you, will you have the same chain of women? No, will you have the same chain? One minute, sir. Did I interrupt you, sir? I didn't.
Yes,
I said, will you have the same chain of women walking into and entering into Sunni mosques to ensure that they get the right to pray inside the Sunni mosque and there is no untouchability practice? Will you say the same thing?
You say.
Secondly, you said constitution, right? The constitution gives deity living rights. So in your house, the deity's house or the deity's domain is the deity's house. So the deity's rule will follow, just like in your house, your rules.
No.
Right.
You
So
are
so
wrong.
so 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 so
You are
if you
wrong.
if you respect, if you're a secular government, then you will respect the rules of the deity of that particular place.
No, that
Yeah,
is called
so
violence.
no, because 1 minute, sir, you have never insisted that men should be allowed into the Bhagavati's temple where no men are allowed. You have never said that. Where the so why are you getting into areas where you don't have the understanding because you are you subscribe to an ideology that practices atheism. If you're a communist, then you're atheist. But if you do respect Sanatan Pratha, if you do respect the Hindu way, then you
What
would
is
respect that the deity
Sanatan?
that the deity
Please tell
that the
me what
deity
is Sanatana, where did you get-
sir, if
Where-
I have
what
to
is the
educate
word
if I
Sanatana?
have to educate you about Sanatana, then you should
No,
not
I
be
read
talking
that.
about it. So
No, what
you
is
should
meant by
not be
Sanatana?
representing. I am asking you, the same aspect of untouchability applies to Sunni mosques in Kerala. Will you apply that rule there?
See,
Did you
you
move the
say-
Supreme Court for the same? Did you create an agitation and did you have Muslim women
see,
walking into the Ayyappa
you
temple,
say-
forcing
you
themselves
say
into the
they are
sanctum sanctorum?
undemocratic.
Will you
First you tell me,
do
are
the
you
same, sir?
undemocratic?
Will you say the same? I'm saying if
no.
you are democratic, will you be truly democratic? But you asked a question to Navya Haridas, Anand Ranganathan coming to you in a bit. Navya Haridas, the BJP has connections to the Tantri of Sabarimala. The BJP should know who is corrupt and who is not. And many temples are seeing acts of corruption. 35 lakhs, tea, silk, milk, coffee, tea. What is the big deal is what he said. Look at other larger issues. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, Mr. Balan have mentioned about Adani and Ambani. Here we are not mentioning about those super heroes. See, here we are mentioning about Swami Ayyappa and the crime and the theft behind Sabarimala. And he is clearly mentioning that the government is not anti-Ayyappa government. But I strongly say that it is anti-Ayyappa government, the ruling government of Kerala. See, there are thousands and thousands of temples in Kerala. In all the temples, ladies are allowed. In Sabarimala also, for your knowledge, to your knowledge, I'm sharing. For Sabarimala also, ladies can go. See, I have visited Sabarimala under age of 10. And after 68 years also, I can visit Sabarimala. And I don't strongly say that I want to visit between the age of 10 and 60. See, the actual devotees don't want to visit between the age of 10 and 60 to Sabarimala. We have plenty of temples to go and visit. We have plenty of Ayyappa temples to go and visit in this Kerala state itself. So why are you arguing for the right of a woman? For at the same time, you can argue for the right of the Muslim woman also. They also serve in the society. They are also part of the society. Just say a word for the Muslim sisters of this country, for the Muslim sisters of this state, and just pray for their upliftment and to make them enter the most
why
at
don't
least
you
once
take
a while.
up their issue?
It's not the child or of the age of above 60. At least for any woman, just speak for them also. That's what I want to say.
No, making the
she
secular.
did not answer
You made the
my
secular
question.
argument. No, Mr. Balan,
Kandaradu
respectfully,
Raju
you made the
brother-in-law
secular
of
argument. So I asked the secular question that your position should
Okay,
be equanimous
okay.
across all people. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Good evening, Anand, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I am just stunned and shocked by the abject ignorance and arrogance of the erudite communist supporter, Mr. Balan. But then I should be surprised.
Be
He
careful
just
with the
called-
language.
So he didn't interrupt you.
Don't
Please, let's
speak
not speak over each other.
No,
sir.
no. Let him
Ah,
make,
okay.
Don't be rattled. I have just begun.
unparliamentary
Okay.
words.
Okay.
Carry
Fun
on.
is just starting, Mr. Balan. Please have some patience. He is the one who's just branded Ambani and Adani as corrupt. Will he also say Pinarayi Vijayan is corrupt because Pinarayi Vijayan has undergone PPP, private partnership with Adani to build a 10,000 crore rupees port in Kerala?
The Virinjam port. Yeah.
Are you not ashamed of partnering with a corrupt man? Balan, what happened? Have you zipped your lips now? Or are you going to say Vijayan is also corrupt? Number two, he talks about constitutional right to be given to women to enter sanctum sanctorum. Where does all that constitutional right go when you ask for Catholic women ask to be ordained as priests? तब क्या चार नींबू निचोड़ के दूध फट जाता है? Where does all that constitutional right go when Muslim women in Kerala demand to be allowed in the sanctum sanctorum of a mosque? What happens then, Mr. Balan? But then it's not Balan's fault because he is a born hypocrite being a communist. the fault is of people like the BJP sympathizer and the spokesperson out there. Because whom do you blame? I apply the Anderson razor. I don't blame Warren Anderson. It was his job to escape. I blame Rajiv Gandhi who allowed him to escape. Now, will the BJP spokesperson say it is absolutely wrong for the state to control Hindu places of worship because that is the fountainhead of corruption? So, no state government or central government should control Hindu temple. But then I would ask her, why is it that under the BJP government, more temples are being controlled than were being controlled under the Congress? This is basically because Hindus are easy to dupe and abuse. You know why? Because we don't behead transgressors. And the irony is, India has been branded a fascist Hindu Rashtra. I want to ask you, Anand, what sort of a Hindu Rashtra is this? That those who want to eradicate Sanatan Dharma are controlling the temples of Sanatan Dharma. There is corruption in running mosques and churches as well, like in Coimbatore and Jabalpur churches, Believers, Eastern Church Kerala, Methodist Church Fatehganj, but only Hindu temples are taken over by the government on pretext of corruption. Why, I ask you, are the communists in Kerala, for whom religion is the opium of the masses, controlling 3,058 Hindu temples? Why is a Muslim appointed on Tarkeshwar board, a Christian on Tirupati board? Governments of just 10 states control more than 110,000 temples. Tamil Nadu government alone controls 36,425 temples. Why? What business is it of the state to levy an administrative charge between 5 to 21% on temples in the name of audit? What business is it of the state to dictate how many times a puja is to be conducted, who is to conduct it, who is qualified to be the priest? What business is it of the state to control tens of thousands of acres of temple land and then set rent for it? The loss to temples on account of this alone is estimated over decades to be in lakhs of crores. Right. That is why I say, stop blaming the communists because it is their job to loot the temples. You are allowing them to loot the temples. So who is to blame? You or the communists?
Well, we're trying, it's neither. It's
one
about,
second, please allow me 1 second.
It's about the fact that those who claim to be secular, not acting in a secular manner. Point is, if you take one religious institution under state control, then all religious institutions must be under state control.
Yes.
Or no religious institution must be under state control, except for absolutely necessary.
Shall I answer? Please give me a few seconds.
Okay. Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji should be joining us any moment now.
Yes,
but
I'll answer to him. Please give me 2 minutes.
Answer on Adani. Mr. Balan, answer on
no,
Adani.
the argument is beyond.
No, I'm not on that. I'll come to the point. See, in Tamil Nadu is right. 36,000 temples under the control of the state. In Karnataka, 35,000 temples.
Yes.
Not even one Dalit is a pujari. He referred to Tirupati.
Completely wrong. Completely wrong.
That is, no, these are all, these are, no, sir, these are all, no, sir, these are all, no, sir.
About the statistics.
No, sir.
Not even one Dalit has.
No, sir. Sir, okay.
Against such
I'm going to ask you this very question, sir. Can a Shia become a Maulvi in a Sunni mosque?
I am not.
Have you asked that? No, why aren't you into? Why aren't you asking that question?
My name
No,
is
you're talking firqas. No, you're talking firqas. No, can a Syrian Christian, can a Syrian Christian, will a Roman Catholic padri be allowed to preach and sermonize in a Syrian Christian church?
I don't believe in that.
In a Syrian Christian church?
don't have a belief.
No, then why did you ask this question? Why did you ask this question
I am
only
not
about
allowed to
the
enter
Hindu
into
faith?
Abhyahara.
Why did you
I am
ask this
not
question
allowed
only about the
into
Hindu faith?
temples.
Okay, let's going
I am
across
not
to Sri
allowed
Rajiv
into
Chandrasekhar.
enter-
Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Kerala State BJP President and also former Union Minister with us. Namaskaram. Jai Hind, sir. Thank you for your time.
Namaskaram, Jai Hind.
You see what's happening with Sabarimala. And it's been over the last 2.5, 3 years, a series, in fact, many years, that every year Ayyappa is denied A, access to devotees, and devotees are denied B, access to Ayyappa. The other thing is, those who are supposed to be protecting the interests of the deity and the devotees now are seen to be corrupt to the core. The ghee scam, the latest.
Look, it is extremely, it's like a wake-up call for all Sabarimala bucks over that, about what we have seen over the last few months. a government, an LDF government under a so-called secular chief minister, presides over and is mandated by the constitution to and is accountable under the constitution for the upkeep of these temples, these very, very sacred places of worship, and also for the welfare of the devotees. Now, we've seen two things unfold in front of us in recent days. One is 4.5 kilos of gold from the sanctum sanctorum of Sabarimala being stolen. This is not stolen from your neighbor's house, it's not stolen from my house, it's not stolen from somebody down the road's house. This is stolen from a temple, from the sanctum sanctorum of a temple that hundreds and lakhs of pilgrims from all over the country and the world come to worship, is centuries old. And the first reaction of the chief minister of the state of Kerala was that this was a slip up. That in a nutshell tells you how seriously they take their responsibility of safety and security and the upkeep and the welfare of Ayyappa Bhakts in Kerala and indeed around the country. Point number one. Point number two, and we all know, Anand, the November, December, January time frame in Sabarimala is the busiest time frame, Magarvalakku time. And every state government, Pinarayi Vijayan and before, is aware of this. And you saw this time the kind of chaos, the kind of callousness and apathy where pilgrims had to face hours and days without water, without food, without any assistance in Sabarimala. Now imagine if this would happen in a place of worship of any other faith in this country. What would the devotees be doing? What would these secular parties be saying? They would be coming out in droves and baying for the blood of the chief minister and the administration that is responsible for the safety and the upkeep of these places of worship. Instead, there is a drama that was enacted by the government and in close coordination with the Congress party, because the basic broker, the broker that was responsible for the corruption, it turns out has deep, decadal old relationship with both the Congress party and the CPM. So there is an almost free-for-all culture of corruption that has been built, an ecosystem of corruption that has been built around Hindu temples in Kerala. Whether it is Guruvayur where 65 crores is missing, whether temples in Calicut where gold is missing, and now it playing out in obvious public glare, supervised by the High Court of Kerala, is an investigation into the theft of 4.5 kgs of the gold of Lord Ayyappa. So this is what is going on in the name of secularism. And if there is a state that represents the fakest secularism in the country, it is Kerala, and that has been practiced by Congress for decades and for the last 1 decade by Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan.
Yeah, but here the allegation is that the Tantri himself has relations with somebody who's a senior BJP functionary in Kerala.
I hold no brief for anybody, the Tantri or Unnikrishnan Poti or the brokers or the Dalal. But the fact is, who under the law is responsible to and accountable to the devotee for the safety and upkeep of the temple? It is the Devaswam board. Who in the government of Kerala is responsible for the operations, the oversight of the Devaswam board? It is the Devaswam minister. Now, the irony of ironies, and it is not even an irony, it is like a joke being played on the people of Kerala, which is where you question and investigate the two ministers, but they are let off. And you pull out Tandri, and if you read the remand report that has been filed by the police against the Tandri, the allegations against the Tandri, by the way, whom I hold no brief for, our party holds no brief for, says the Tandri did not inform the Devaswam board that the gold is missing, point one. And number two, the Tandri did not do the religious rituals required by. Now, under which provision under the BNS or the Criminal Penal Code is a priest going to be sent to jail? And if that was the yardstick, Anand, who is the person in Kerala who has violated the tradition and the rituals of Sabarimala the most? It is the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan in 2018.
Yeah.
when he tried to send women in violation of the traditions and culture of Sabarimala. So shouldn't Pinarayi Vijayan be sitting in jail? Shouldn't the FIR be filed against Pinarayi Vijayan? So there is a huge effort in trying to somehow scapegoat some people, low-level people.
But here's the thing.
Yes, go ahead.
But here's the thing, Rajivji. You know, state after state, even the BJP has deterred from freeing temples from their state control.
Anand,
be it in Maharashtra, even with the Char Dham in Uttarakhand, the state had to let go before the elections, and but till then it was under state control. In a lot of states, it is still under state. Look at Puri Jagannath. Puri Jagannath is under state control. BJP is in government. They have not freed the temples.
I am certainly not going to get distracted and go into a larger discussion of whether states and state government should control temples, because the constitution says this whole issue of Article 25, the freedom to practice your religion, practice and propagate your religion, and under that, the upkeep of religious places, especially Hindu temples, is a concurrent subject where the state government has a responsibility. Now, should that be amended? Should that be legislated? Should there be a national legislation? That is a different debate altogether, Anand, and I'm happy to have that conversation. Whether there should be a national legislation to ensure that places of worship like Sabarimala, which are national places of worship, these are pilgrims from all over the country. Should they be regulated by the central government? And I certainly believe there is a strong case for that. I certainly believe there is a discussion that needs to be had by that. But that notwithstanding, and that being a medium to long-term conversation and discourse that we need to have, debate we need to have, the fact is there is absolutely, and there should be no doubt in anybody's mind, there is a double standard being played out in states like Kerala by these so-called secular parties. On one hand, they abuse, exploit Hindu places of worship. On the other hand, these same jokers, CPM and the Congress, will do their politics with organizations like Jamaat-e-Islami. And I dare Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan or whoever is in charge of the Congress in Kerala, if they ever did this to a Muslim place of worship, if they ever did to any other religious place of worship other than a Hindu place of worship, there would be riots in Kerala. It is simply because the Hindu community and the devotees are, in a sense, they're accepting about what these governments do, that we are today seeing the protest that we have launched, which is the Magaravilaka protest, which is Veetil Natil. We are lighting a lamp to signify a silent protest against this kind of corruption. And the corruption, we have now almost normalized political corruption in government in Kerala. But that culture of corruption should now invade our places of worship. That I certainly believe is a line that has been crossed. And
for all you say, see, he is Dharma Shastra, so he is supposed to be the one who teaches Dharma, truth, and righteousness. That's what he is the symbol of, the Harihara Putra.
Yeah, but isn't that the irony, Anand, that we all go there? I go there almost every year. We all go there. We go there to be inspired on Dharma, to do good for our people. And the people who are overseeing these temples are doing anything but Dharma. They are doing Adharma. They are not only doing Adharma on their fellow Malayalis, but they are doing Adharma on the temple that is a symbol of Dharma. Right. And I feel that is absolutely something that is unacceptable. And it's time we laid sort of put a stake on the ground and said, this far and no more. And I think the day starts today, 14th of January is Magaravilaka.
Yes.
And after today, we will not permit this. I think this is a determination, there's a quiet determination amongst Malayalis that this has certainly gone on too long and this far and no more, and we will not take this anymore.
Well, Ayyappa is watching. Ayyappa will bless those who stand and take the right stand to protect Dharma. That's where we'll park it for the moment. Rajivji, thank you. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you. Namaskaram. We get a move on here on the right stand, viewers. Sikh groups are protesting against Pakistani grooming gangs in the United Kingdom over abduction and assault of a 15-year-old Sikh girl in the Hounslow area in London. 15-year-old Sikh girl was abducted in West London's Hounslow. She was gang raped by grooming gangs. Minor girl was held captive in a flat owned by a 34-year-old man. She was subjected to repeated abuse, sexual assault involved up to 6 grooming gang perpetrators repeatedly assaulting her, raping her. Now, the videos of the incident spread across social media, and more than 200 members of the Sikh community gathered outside the accused's home and protested. Protesters clashed with police officers demanding immediate action. Protesters said no effective action was taken by police. The girl was rescued after pressure from gathered crowd. Sikhs were upset over the delay and inaction. The Sikh community directly intervened to secure the girl's safety. Government sources have told CNN News 18 that the matter has been taken up with the local authorities, and this is an extremely serious child exploitation allegation, and this requires urgent police investigation, support and prosecution. Patterns of organized abuse must be confronted to safeguard all vulnerable children without fear or favor. Pakistan should be named and shamed for this serious crime. Now, Sikh leaders' protests mark a wake-up call for the authorities and raise alarm regarding the heinous activities practiced by Pakistan origin grooming gangs in London. K-goons remain silent. Pak grooming gangs continue their heinous act. Is the agenda finally exposed that these K-goons are mere puppets and they will not stand up for what is right? Dr. Anand Ranganathan is with us. We'll come back to this entire grooming gang theory. One is the K-goon silence. The other thing is this entire continuum, Dr. Ranganathan. There are these people who believe it's their mandate to entrap, ensnare, seduce, and then rape, and then immediately convert, and then victimize or in a way capture for good. And these are all underage girls. And this is not there in the UK only. It's being practiced in Bharat. It's been seen in Pakistan. It's been seen in other places. There seems to be this continuum. And those who claim to be standing up for Sikh rights are silent today.
No, absolutely. But the sad truth is we are living, Anand, in an age of wokeism, victimhood, selectivity and political correctness. And I don't know if we are allowed to tell the truth anymore. You highlighted the cases from Britain and they're absolutely awful, and the silence is of library thickness, and it is just shameful how their politicians have cushioned this for more than a decade, really. But the fact of the matter is, away from Britain, as you fleetingly mentioned, we've seen the very same perfidy being played out in India. Remember the horrendous Ajmer grooming case that was hushed up? Remember cases of love jihad that continue to be hushed up, continue to be called a figment of one's imagination by journalists and opposition? Love jihad is a reality, let me be very clear. Impersonating someone else's religion for the purposes of entrapping a woman or coercing her, grooming her, coercing her to change her religion for the purposes of marriage or for living out peaceful married life are criminal offenses. For the leftists and the logically challenged, most often one and the same thing, the means do not justify the end, where the end, an interfaith marriage, which by itself is a wonderful thing. Now you can bunch all these three offenses under any phrase. Love jihad, grooming jihad, it doesn't matter. What matters is, do these offenses happen? And the answer is yes, by the hundreds and with alarming regularity. And they will keep on happening, Anand. That's the sad fact. Not just in India, not just in Britain, but in every other country, because let me be very brutal and honest. The day a democratic nation decides to be multi-religious, with one of the religion being Islam, its fate is sealed, in that it will inevitably turn uni-religious, with that religion being Islam. Remember what Dr. Ambedkar said, Islam is incompatible with local self-government because the allegiance of a Muslim does not rest on his domicile in the country which is his, but on the faith to which he belongs. This is something that is an intractable situation. We have to wake up to it. But as you said, more than waking up to it, we have to act. And tell me one instance where in the last decade, either the Indian government or the UK government have acted. One.
True, but just park the entire aspect. There are 135 firqas in Islam. When this Pakistani origin and this lot comes here, there is a particular sect that was quite virulent, that continued to try and push this, and that was the Wahhabis. Now, this entire Salafi Wahhabi stream, and that was pushed by the followers of Al-Wahhabi, the Deobandis. Now, this takeover and this thought continuum, do you see this happening, that those who follow this thought process tend to be far more radical and far more intent on keeping the score and fighting on these scorecards? Now, because there are other sects which are moderate, there are other sects which are not as virulent or don't follow this path too. And there is a certain moderation in Islam. We may argue, disagree, agree on that. But this firqa itself, is that a problem? And that's the core of this entire Tablighi Jamaat that gets a free for all over the place. This Ahle Hadith meets Al-Wahhab or Salafi.
Look, that's a very interesting question, and at a philosophical level, a nuance is required. I have written about it for about a decade now. The fact of the matter is, yes, there are many sects in Islam. Some are more moderate than others. Some are more radical, quote unquote, than others. But the fact is, each one of them goes back to the book. Now, you can say one sect is saying, well, I'm interpreting this verse differently from yours. But then I ask, is atheism allowed in any sect? Is atheism allowed in Islam? Now, there are some Muslim, my good friend Tehseen, who says, I'm a proud Muslim and an atheist. I'm sorry. You're a wonderful person. But the fact is, Islam does not allow atheism. There is death sentence in 13 Islamic nations for atheists.
Yeah.
Now, does Islam, for example, allow Ahmadiyyas to be called Muslims? In Pakistan, you can be killed if you proclaim, coming from a Islamic sect called Ahmadiyyas. So the fact of the matter is, you can have 10,000 sects, but as long as you have one book to go to as your recourse, you will always have this issue.
Well, let's talk about and change tack, move on. Dr. Ranganathan, stay on with us. There is another Islamic nation which is right on the tenterhooks right now. And they are not Sunni, they're largely Shia, but they have now got the ire of the world, and more importantly, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Iran is on the tenterhooks as more than 2,000 people have died, 3,500 have been injured, and 18,000 have been detained. Now, last reports suggest, and these are now unconfirmed viewers, that that number, that is the death toll, could be as high as 12,000, because there are reports of unabated firing at protesters using military equipment. They've just been shot point blank in cold blood, and across districts and across cities of Iran. That's the report. Now, internet shutdown continues for over 130 hours. Anti-Khamenei protesters to be hanged in Iran. Irfan Soltani, an Iranian protester, is facing execution as authorities move to carry out what rights groups fear would be the first hanging linked to the protests in the nation. US President Donald Trump, in a fresh warning to the Khamenei regime, has asked protesters to continue the protests and occupy government buildings, and claimed that US aid is reaching Iran soon. Reza Pahlavi, the exiled prince of Iran, has said the world is watching the courage of the Iranian people and that the criminals in Iran will surely be punished soon. The Ministry of External Affairs issuing an advisory for Indian nationals against travelling to Iran amid ongoing unrest, and also urging those in Iran to try and take the first flight back if possible. There are nearly 10,700 Bharatiya in Iran at the moment, as per the official records. Now, Iran, meanwhile, has warned US allies in the Middle East that it will strike American bases if they're on their soil if United States attacks Iran. Iran has formally complained to the United Nations over remarks by Trump, rebuking him for threatening military action and inciting rioters to take control of state institutions. Some personnel have been advised to leave the US military's Al Udeid air base in Qatar by evening. Iran-US lines of communication have been suspended as attack fears grow. Are things just on the brink of going kinetic, viewers? That's the big question. Something's going to give over the next 48 hours. Zahak Tanveer, geopolitical commentator, Dr. Ranganathan with us. But first, going across to Ambassador Rajiv Dogra. How do you see the situation developing? Bharat issuing the advisory means something's happening.
Well, exactly, because India or Bharat is normally very conservative in issuing such advisories. But at the same time, if worse comes to worse, then India steps forward to rescue the national stranded in a foreign country in a difficult situation. In this case, as you said very rightly, there are 10,000 plus Indians. Fortunately, no one has been injured, no one has been hurt, despite the very, very disturbing news coming out of Iran, where some reports suggest that soldiers are firing directly onto the chest of the protesters. Now, the larger question here, Anand, which you raised, concerns the people of Iran. Now, this is a situation instigated by Israel and encouraged by Trump. People have been made to go onto the streets without any real support from either Israel or USA so far. So they are in fact the front line of protest against the Iranian regime, which is normally the case, but here they are being led to slaughter. And there is no surety that Trump will eventually send in his forces. There are indications that forces are getting ready. They're just waiting for orders from Trump. But what thereafter? I mean, there are also reports that there are American aircraft, perhaps even soldiers in Balochistan, and Pakistan is fully cooperating with Americans in this. But once again, this issue is that unless there are boots on ground and unless they can wipe out the entire Iranian leadership, they are not going to surrender.
True. See, Ambassador Saab, like you said, 1 million bus militia, 150,000 IRGC. This is what is a fierce loyalty to the Khamenei regime. Now, even if America decides to strike Iran, where will they strike, Zahak Tanveer? What are they going to bomb?
Yeah, thank you, Anand, for having me on the show. As we were talking about the regime change in Iran, the first strikes, which are expected to happen on Tehran and Isfahan, most probably. So, and one more important thing which we have to also discuss about is today we have seen that in Kashmir, in Kargil, people were protesting in support of the Khamenei regime. And it reminds us of what happened during the 1940s when the Turkish Caliphate was about to be dismantled, and there were protests and support happening inside India. So this is also something which Indian government and Indian establishment has to also think about. And a second interesting thing here is that Saudi and Qatar and Oman are lobbying with the Trump administration to stop the strikes against Iran. And their argument is that if this happens, then there will be oil economy disturbance happening throughout the West Asia and the Middle East. And when we talk about from the Indian perspective, whether it's the Muhammad Shah regime or the Khamenei regime, the Shah regime has been secular and it does not have any religious strings attached. But when we compare it with the Khamenei regime, we see that though Khamenei regime helps us in containing the Pakistani influence, but it has the religious strings attached to it, and also the tariffs and the sanctions problem and issues attached to it. I think with the regime change, if a secular or more kind of non-religious government comes in Iran, it will be pro-India to have to have that IMEC, the Economic Corridor project. It will be very conducive for India as well. The last thing which I would definitely like to mention here is that to ask the questions to the left ecosystem, which has been protesting for Palestine, for Gaza, and we have seen them protesting for in front of the CEO and Mahindra and McDonald's. Where are all those BDS movements and the SIO, student Islamic organizations, and all those groups who are not supporting the common people in Iran? The common people are getting killed. They are getting detained. They are getting killed brutally. But the left ecosystem is dead silent.
Is the leftist ecosystem Islamic or Sunni? So that's another question, because large part of Iran is Shia. So is that the sectarian divide in the left ecosystem, or is it something else, Dr. Ranganathan?
The left is left. No, but look, the Trump regime, especially the president, first Venezuela, now possibly Iran, is going one by one after the rogue nations. Pakistan ka number kab aayega, I want to ask. Yeah, kabhi aayega ki nahi aayega. But look, to be serious, this
regime... You clean the doormat last.
Well said, touche. I think the fact of the matter is that this is an evil dictatorial regime. And I'm not just saying this because of the kind of obnoxious comments Khamenei has been making regarding the Muslims and their status in India and on Kashmir. Their stand, it's all right. Any nation is free to take whatever stand they wish to take, or support Pakistan or support insurgency in other countries. That's their. But the fact of the matter is that the brutal suppression of their own people, this should have been held as a mirror. And I see a lot of Muslims in India, especially Zach talked about, there are protests already erupting in Kashmir. And remember, the same protest that erupted after Nasrallah, the terrorist, was eliminated by Israel. What relation do we have with terrorists and this evil regime that you would hold protest marches out here? Please, the moment you make it about religion, then be prepared for the blowback as well. You are the ones who are making it about religion. This is not about religion right now, because the Iranians who are protesting, I dare say 99.9% of them are also Muslim. The fact of the matter is, it's not, even though they might like to proclaim that the lion as the symbol now, and you've removed the Islamic symbol and we go back to, King Darius or the Persian. The people who are protesting on the streets, the people who are getting killed are Muslims. They're not Persians in that sense. They're not Parsis. So the fact of the matter is that there are Muslims who have had enough of, surprise, an evil dictatorial Islamic regime. Now the fact is that if external powers do not act, Iran, the regime, is just too powerful to quell this, like China quelled the Tiananmen Square protest. So I think external forces have to come in if they do decide to come in. But if they do, then is there a charter that Trump has made as to which are the rogue nations that are worth going after?
It's not even the charter. See, one of the things is that a lot of people in Jammu and Kashmir, if you say especially in Kashmir, they are Shia. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, you could correct me, and they have ancestral leanings, roots with Iran, and there is a certain history that is there. Even from say 300 to 500 years. So there is still that whole thing, the Sayyadis coming from there, etc. and their Iranian roots or Iranian connections. A lot of them, students who go to study there, who have studied there, there is some linkage. Now, whether or not it's political, it's religious, that's a different point. The other thing is, if the Americans decide to attack, Ambassador Rajiv, where will they do it from? Because there are about 40,000 troops stationed, but there are no aircraft carriers in the Gulf. Then they will have to fly over Jordan. They'll have to get the buy-in of the Oman region, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain. All of them will have to be agreeable. Egypt, along with, of course, Israel. But all these nations will have to say, all right, go ahead, use our airspace, go and bomb Iran. Again, I'm going to ask you, where are they going to go to bomb a city? But how are they going to target this bus militia and the IRGC? They control, the Khamenei's control everything there. 30 to 40% of their economy also is directly under the Khamenei regime control and the Khamenei family. Yes, please.
Well, the issue, I touched upon it in my first response, that you need boots on ground in case you want to overwhelm a country. And America has proved that sometimes you don't need boots on ground. Their operation in Venezuela was picture perfect. But Iran is a different kettle of fish because China is involved. China has made one statement and thereafter it has kept quiet. It said we will give all the support necessary, be it financial, defense, or whatever. We will not allow America to attack Iran, otherwise the consequences will be great. The second is, America does have the capacity to wipe out the entire Revolutionary Guard leadership and the political leadership. They already have fixed targets, courtesy Iran, courtesy some of the dissidents and so on. So I would not underestimate American ability to make an overwhelming show of force. But whether they are successful remains open to doubt. The second thing is, there was a mention about Qatar, Saudi Arabia, perhaps Bahrain should be included in this, because there are large elements of Shia population in these countries, in Saudi Arabia in particular, in the oil-producing part of Saudi Arabia. Bahrain is overwhelmingly Shia. So is Iraq. So there are issues that have been flagged to Americans that look, it's not going to be confined only to Iran. There could be spillover. In Pakistan, the Shia population is 12%. In India, besides Kashmir, there are Shias also, very important Shias in Lucknow. In fact, from Lucknow, the original Khomeini went and his family went to Iran. So, Shia is a very committed kind of religious sect, and it is anti-Sunni in many ways, and it is also very aggressive. Iran had held on against America and Iraq much before the first Gulf War and second Gulf War, and it had stood its own. So I would not go by what happened when Israel and America attacked Iran recently. This time it could be different because Russia and China are fully backing Iran.
Just very briefly, Anand, you were right about aircraft carriers not being there in the Gulf, but there are 3 US destroyers in the Persian Gulf right now, including Roosevelt. So I don't think firepower is there that would worry Trump right now. I mean,
Well, it's going to worry the Khamenei regime because unless there is a groundswell, the kind that we are witnessing, and this is also unprecedented. We've seen protests on the hijab thing and all of that. There was a lot of internet, social media buzz, but this is on ground. They may launch counter protests, but if 30 to 40% or if not more than that of the population is upset because of the way the regime has been unable to manage the economic strife in the country. Just as now, as I was just checking, $1 is 1.46 million riyal. That's how much their currency is devalued. It's gone. And they can't. How much of Chinese yuan are they going to spend? And with these special sanctions, again, that's also not going to come. So this economic strife and penury is going to perhaps further add to the frustration of the people. And that's not going to be easy for the Khamenei regime to manage, even if they control 30 to 40% of the economy. So something's going to give in the next 36 to 48 hours. We'll wait and watch. Thank you, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to have you here on The Right Stand. Thank you for watching, viewers. Namaste.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Navya Haridas, President Mahila Morcha Kerala BJP with us. As Balan leader left is with us. Dr. Anand Ranganathan also with us. My namaste, Jai Hind. Thank you for your time. Navya Haridas, this is the latest. Now here they are saying it's a contractual worker. Sunil Kumar Potti may be involved. How is it that the state could have done something better? And if the state cannot, although because the TDB is under the aegis of the state cannot control this loot, then who will? There are very many questions. Your thought process.
Definitely. We all know that Sabarimala Sri Dharmashastra temple is a very prominent, famous Hindu pilgrimage destination. Every year we are hearing many controversies about the Sabarimala. And recently the gold scam was raised as a major issue in Sabarimala. But now we could see that in a short time span, like from December to January, for around 1.5 months, 35 lakhs scam have been revealed from Sabarimala. It cannot be put as a small thing because actually we are feeling very sad about hearing all such news from Sabarimala. It's very painful for every devotees to hear such news from Sabarimala. This gold scam itself, many ministers were involved. We all know that the Devaswa minister, V.N. Vasavanji was also under the police control for questioning and all. And the earlier former minister, Sri Kadangampalli Surendran, was also in the shadow of this police. And what to say, the chief minister, Pinarayi Vijayan, he himself is involved in all these things. That's what the facts are revealing now. In Sabarimala, 35 lakh scam for this ghee. It's not actually a mere ghee. It's a sacred offering from the god to the devotees. RDA system ghee is its name. So this ghee may have to be given as a prasad to the devotees. And this prasad is being looted and the money for this prasad is being looted. That means the proper recording is not being done in Sabarimala. There is no there are many financial irregularities in Sabarimala. The stock verification is not done in a proper way. And the state minister and the state ruling party itself is involved in all these scams. So if the ruling party is taking care of these things and the Devaswam board itself is under the control of the state department. So when the state itself is doing this all